all by himself. When you sit back and really start to comb through the stats that led to his various accomplishments, not just looking at his accomplishments, like 6-time finals MVP, you hear those accomplishments, you're like, that's great. But when you sit back and look at the journey he took and what he accomplished along the way to reach those various goals, it's mind-numbingly great. Like, I was doing some research and I stumbled upon an article via sportsrush.com this morning, and I was doing some research. And the article was highlighting the 1993 NBA Finals, where Michael Jordan played against the Phoenix Suns, which featured Charles Barkley and all of these guys. Y'all remember that for the audience that's a little bit older. And unfortunately, I was too young to even remember it or see it because I was born in '87. So those 1993 NBA Finals, I was 6 years old. I wasn't watching basketball that young. And if I did, I don't remember anything, right? So for the people that are older than me, they actually have a much better vantage point of this. And I remember a number of years ago, before we even got into sports, I was with my cousin. I was talking to him, Sharif, and he's older than me. I think he's older than me by 12 years. And, I'm a Kobe fan. And I said to myself, I said, man, Kobe is great. Like Kobe, blah, 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 blah. And he said to me, he was like, Jordan was better. And I was like, how can somebody be better than Kobe Bryant? Like, how? I'm watching. I'm like, what basketball player could play basketball better than this guy? Who's the guy? And he said to me, yeah, Jordan was better. And I remember finding a video online about this guy talking about Kobe's numbers were better than Jordan in a certain aspect. And I sent it to him on Facebook. He didn't even respond to me. And I was like, what is up with that? This dude didn't even respond to me, right? So after reading that article, I went back to do some research about that 1993 NBA Finals where Michael Jordan faced Charles Barkley and the Phoenix Suns, who won 62 games that season. It was a 60-plus win team that season, and they were no slouch of a team, right? That team was the number one rated offense in the NBA that year. They were scoring about 113.3 points per game, and they were the ninth rated defense in the NBA. They were giving up about 106 points per game. If you look at this Boston Celtics defense, if they played in today's NBA, they would probably be like a number 4, number 3 ranked defensive related, or top 5 defense, let's say, if you related them to the NBA's game, or today's NBA's game in the present day. You get what I'm saying, right? So I went back and looked at some of Jordan's individual performances during that series, because the Bulls won that series in 6 games. And let me tell you guys what I was able to unearth. Jordan scored at least 40 points in 4 of the 6 games. That's where we start. In one game, this dude scored 55 points. He finished the series averaging 41 points per game. I mean, like, what are we talking about right now? 41 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, 6.3 assists, 1.7 steals, and he shot 51% on the series. On the series. Jordan is the only basketball player that I've closely observed or researched that actually gets better the further he goes into the playoffs. That's very strange. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not normal. Do you know why? Because usually the longer you're playing in the playoffs, usually players' numbers start to go down because of the wear and tear. Usually you start racking up injuries and you just get tired because it's a grueling 2.5-month campaign if you're going to make it to the NBA final, or a 1.5, 2-month campaign if you're going to make it into the NBA finals. So for the simple fact that this guy was getting better, he didn't have the modern, advances in nutrition, recovery, technology, all of these different things. He didn't have any of that. He was playing back then. And somehow this guy was able to average over 41 minutes per game during the entire playoffs back then. And his numbers were getting better. Let me give you guys a freaky stat line. Jordan's stats for the entire playoff run in 1993. Think about this. Think about this for a second. This is why when I say The further you go in a rabbit hole, the scarier it gets. It's crazy. If you guys want to sit back and really analyze Michael Jordan's career, it will start to crack your brain of just how good this guy was. Let me give you some stats. During that playoff run, he averaged 35.1 points per game. 0.9 in blocks, 2.1 steals, 6 assists per game, 6.7 rebounds. He shot 85% from the field, 39% from the three, and 45.7% from the floor. Now, here's the kicker. I think in that season, I believe I have the stats here from that season. Michael Jordan played, get this, 78 of the available 82 games he virtually missed one game every quarter of the season.